Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the historical drama Belfast hitting store shelves along with the 5-film Daniel Craig James Bond collection set. Speaking of sets, there's also a Blu-ray set for Batman the Complete Series, and Full Moon Features is releasing the family adventure comedy sequel, Pre-Hysteria 2. Nobody does it like Charles Band, folks. Ain't nobody. Oh, man. Plus much, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart, and it is official, ladies and gentlemen. The streak is finally over. Well, maybe. Because according to Walmart, well, this week does have a big release, and that's Pup Save Rocket Rider. And if you're going by new release love, well, they do have it, actually. They do have the DVD of Pup Save Rocket Rider, the Paw Patrol goodness, for $9.96. So maybe the streak continues. Maybe. I don't know. Does this really officially count? Man, we'd be stretching the rules big time, man, if this does. I don't know. I mean, I've only watched one goddamn thing, Paw Patrol, in my life, and I don't get it. I really don't, man. But kids eat this shit up like crack cocaine, man. God damn. No wonder there's like a new fucking thing coming out for Paw Patrol practically every goddamn month, almost every goddamn week. Kids just really love this shit. And if they love it, well, I'm sure Walmart's gonna sell out of this. The kids around here screaming and yelling, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, give me Paw Patrol!" Yeah, eventually it's gonna sell out. So they do have some new release love, if this is really what you're considering new release love nowadays. But hey, it is an only at Walmart exclusive. So if your kids love Paw Patrol, they better get their ass to Wally World. It may not last, folks. It may not indeed. But as far as the newer release stuff, like the stuff that actually matters, no offense to everybody that likes Paw Patrol, but that's not really my jam, folks. I'm looking for the new release goodness like Belfast and maybe a couple other things. But honestly, yeah, they're not even having it, man. I mean, they do have a few things still. I mean, they do have that Kingsman exclusive love. They have that. They still have some of the exclusive stuff for the Eternals. They still have one for Doom, which I'm kind of surprised that this one is still here. I mean, they still have a lot of love for Ghostbusters Afterlife, Resident Evil, Catwoman Hunted, House of Gucci. Of course, they still have the 355. Yeah, ain't nobody buying that shit. Oh, man. Halloween Kills, Encanto, King Richard, Venom. I mean, they still have some of the good stuff, but not the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? I kind of expected it, though. But, hey, at least they have Paw Patrol, and that's something, right? Right. Man. Whatever. Let's head out. Something told me that the streak wasn't long for this world, ladies and gentlemen. I know. I wanted it to continue really badly. I literally came into Walmart thinking to myself, I was like, come on, Walmart, do me a solid. Give me some sort of new release goodness so I can say the streak has continued. Give me the hope, baby. And, yeah, they let me down. They really did. I mean, technically, you could argue that the Paw Patrol special is the new release love, right? Huh? No? Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no way, man. Damn it. I mean, to be honest with you, this week is not really a very plentiful week at all. We do have Belfast, but it's an indie title. Yes, it's an Oscar award nominee contender, but it's not a big blockbuster that everybody really feels like they need to stock or want, and there's not really much else on the docket really worth diving into either. So Walmart decided, hey, you know what, man? We've given you a lot of new release love. We have really did our due diligence on physical media goodness. Give us a break, will ya? 1 week of break. And fine, I will. I guess. I mean, something tells me that the streak will come back on eventually and continue. There will be more new release love. It's not like this is the last time, the be all end all. We'll get more, but I guess they just wanted to take a little bit of a breather. I don't agree with it, but beggars can't be choosers, folks. When it comes to physical media, I think you definitely agree. Yeah, you definitely do, man. But if Paw Patrol is your jam, hey, have at it, man. You're gonna get all the Paw Patrol goodness you want. Good luck to you. In the meantime, well, I'd like a little bit more, something up my alley, so how about we go and explore and hopefully find more physical media goodness worth checking out. All right, everybody, we are at our second location, Target. But before I go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something. So, when it comes to physical media love, we're noticing certain trends, right? In-store stuff is not always as plentiful as online, obviously. But will that always be the case? Will the trends change, or will online be getting stronger? Well, I happen to have an article that might shed a little light on that. 8 biggest e-commerce sectors today. So, basically what e-commerce is purchasing goods and services online rather than in person. And one of the ones in the future that will get a very high-profile kick is physical media. Well, according to this article, it will. Number 8, media. Total sales in 2021, $31.7 billion. Change from 2020, plus 5.8%. Even with the popularity of streaming and downloading movies and music, physical media is still a top category for e-commerce. The media segment covers consumer sales of physical books, CDs, DVDs, and video games on disc. It doesn't include downloaded digital media or streaming services. It also doesn't include the cost of shipping. Amazon is one of the top providers of physical media in the United States. By 2025, the number of users in the media segment is expected to be 134.9 million. Oh, it's a good sign for physical media, isn't it? But not a really great sign for in-store love. Look, we've slowly been heading towards this for quite a long time. I've told you guys over and over again the old school days of going into Best Buy and how they would have all the new releases, all the indie stuff, all the boutique stuff. They used to have stuff in Anchor Bay and old school stuff long time ago. Those days are long over, man. I mean, the days of Media Play and Circuit City, Suncoast, FYE is starting to become a thing of the past as well. So that trend has been slowly moving more and more, and the pandemic tended to just accelerate it even further. And now online is one of the more bigger things. I mean, you look at Amazon, yes, they're one of the biggest, and they're selling a lot of physical media in general to many, many people all across the world, fair enough. But it's also a lot of these other boutique labels. You look at Severin, you look at Vinegar Syndrome, you look at Scream Factory, Arrow, you name it. Yes, some of those titles do eventually make their way to a store. The occasional Arrow release at Best Buy, Scream Factory may get that a little bit. Of course, you get the Criterion love at Barnes & Noble. And ever so often you get a little bit of release here, a little bit of a release there. But for the most part, it's pretty goddamn rare, man. And a lot of these boutique labels, they rely on their sales from their websites to get them through, because that's the only way that they can really have their product nowadays. They can't depend on a Walmart or a Best Buy or a Target to carry their shit, because for the most part, that ain't gonna happen. Which is a shame, because I think if it did, a lot of these stores would see a lot more love from a lot more customers. Unfortunately,
nowadays, for a lot of these companies, it's what's going to sell the biggest and the best and the most, right? You will see a shitload of movies out there for the latest Spider-Man movie, right? There's going to be so many copies out there at all the stores. There's going to be, because it's such a huge movie. But when you look at another movie that is very popular, that's getting this big boutique label release, a lot of times these stores don't really give a damn. And so, really, it is online that is taking more of a high priority, and it has for quite a while. I'm going to be real with you guys. I love doing these out and abouts. I really do. I think they're really fun. I love getting my thoughts out there to you guys. It's been a great ride. But even I understand. I know at a certain point that is going to go away. I know at a certain point it's going to not last forever. And there will be a finite time when the stores are just not going to carry things anymore. We've seen shrinking shelves, we've seen lesser variety, and yes, there's been moments where physical media has really shined in certain weeks, but few and far between. I don't know when that time is when physical media is going to be a thing of the past in the stores. But when that happens, I think it's going to be a damn shame, because there are a lot of people out there who don't use online services to get their movies. I do, you do, but there's a lot of other people that don't. And it's kind of weird to say that in 2022, but it really is the truth. And so those people are just shit out of luck. And unfortunately, with streaming and a lot of other things, physical has taken a downslide. Not online, as I've shown you in the article, but in the stores, I think they just haven't seen the kind of love that they wanted to. Or maybe because they haven't been putting out as many releases, they don't get the traffic as they used to. It's a push and pull. You can blame it on the lack of people buying, or you could blame it on the lack of variety, that people don't want to go into your stores and buy it, and they'd rather just get it at a better price and more variety online. I don't know, man. There's so many factors to this, and at the end of the day, you can point the blame to a lot of people, but online will eventually completely take over. When it does, it's a shame, because I love the thrill of the hunt. I love going in and checking out the movies and talking about them, but nothing lasts forever. And eventually, this will go away. Love it while it's here, because at a certain point, all you'll have is the memories. Just saying. Definitely let me know what you think about that, guys. In the meantime, there is some physical media love. Not that Walmart really had it. But hey, maybe Target will. I mean, Target's been good to us, so let's see if they can pull one out yet again.
All right, everybody, we are in at Target, and a lot of the same similar physical media love as before, but this is Target, which means we're definitely getting something new, and indeed we do, baby. Finally seeing a little Belfast, the Blu-ray digital for $22.99. Ah, yes, awards season contender in a big bad way, man. Ooh, and I definitely had to check it out on Amazon Prime. Basically, this movie is about one boy and his family and the tumultuous turmoil, the struggles that they were dealing with during this really crazy time during the 1960s in Belfast. And I didn't really know much about the movie. The movie was getting praised like crazy, up and down. People who saw the movie loved it and gave it high marks, and I wanted to watch it because of that, but also because of Kenneth Branagh. I'm a big Kenneth Branagh fan. I love his acting and his directing, and I figure this guy really knows how to create a really great drama and great characters, and I figure I gotta give this a go, man. And I gotta admit, I am so happy that I did. This is a really phenomenal film, man. In every sense of the word, not even lying. I love the characters, I love the drama, I love the family dynamic, I love the story of this young boy in this moment in time in his life where he's being influenced by all these things that are happening around him, war and culture like music and movies, and the struggle of his life changing right in front of his eyes. It's very much, in some ways, a coming of age story as well as a family drama, and it works absolutely perfectly, man. It really honestly does. I mean, there is a little bit of a disconnect in the fact that it's Belfast. It's a historical thing that I really didn't know much about, so it was hard to kind of invest myself in it. But once you know the history, I think it even works even better. But just taking that historical context out of it, it works like spades just because of the chemistry between the actors, the dialogue, and the struggles that feel real. Struggles that this family is dealing with in the 1960s, you still deal with today. And it's very timely stuff that you can easily relate to, and it works brilliantly, man. It really honestly does. You get to feel for the characters, you get to feel for the boy, and the fact that life is moving so fast that one moment he's in love with this little girl, the next moment there's like a street fight going on and war happening. It's flying by so fast, and when you're a kid, that's how life is in general. Things are moving so quick that it's hard to take in everything all at once, but your brain is processing everything and trying to figure it all out, and you're growing up with all of this stuff that's happening around you and being influenced by that. And I loved it. I thought it was really fucking brilliant, man. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And I really got to give credit even more for them making this a black and white film, because I'm actually a really big fan of black and white. I love black and white. I love the artistic style of it. I love old school movies that use black and white. But a lot of people don't really like black and white. They kind of think it's mundane or dull. And I never really understood that argument, man, because I'm like, you can really make a very dynamic black and white movie. There's some great colored movies out there that did a version in black and white, like The Mist or Mad Max Fury Road, which is fucking amazing and awesome, man. And I love the old school stuff, like the Ed Wood films back in the day, High Noon, the original King Kong. Black and white, yes, you think it's sort of plain Jane, but it can be so much more than that if done correctly. And this is another one of those really great movies that showcases that you could really use black and white to your advantage if you're a very expert filmmaker, and Kenneth Branagh very much is. I just think he's a great expert director when it comes to drama and family dynamics. He's done some really amazing films being a director that has really showcased drama and how he can really create it really well. He comes from the Shakespeare background, and he's directed some amazing stuff like Henry V, Much Ado About Nothing. Of course, he directed Hamlet as well. I mean, he's not perfect, all things considered. I mean, he did direct Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit, which isn't the hottest. He also ended up directing Artemis Fowl. Yeah, that's better left unsaid, man. But he's done some amazing work. Obviously, Murder on the Orient Express is fantastic. Of course, the original Thor, yes, he did direct that. He brought Thor into the MCU in a big bad way, man. He really knows family drama, family dynamics, and he uses it to his advantage in a big bad way. And this movie was really born out of the pandemic and out of even his own life experiences. A lot of the stuff in the movie was stuff that he experienced when he was a kid. And so it's really amazing. It's almost in some ways a biopic about his own life as a child, which is crazy even to think about, man. But he put his heart, he put his soul into this movie, and it absolutely paid off, man. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's not going to be for everybody. It's about an hour and a half, give or take, maybe a little bit more. If you don't like these family drama, dynamic type of movies, historical dramas, probably not for you. But if you're willing to give it a chance, it's really damn good, man. He wrote it, he directed it. It really is that phenomenal, man. Absolutely awesome. Man, I'm glad I got to watch this, man. See a master at work like this? Pretty damn sweet, man. Not gonna lie, dude. Not gonna lie at all. Pretty goddamn awesome indeed. Well, only one thing over here, but maybe there could be more. It's Target. You never know. how about we go digging? And down the windy road of the shrinking Target physical media section, there is more to be checking out. And that's Batman, baby. Batman! The complete series, the Blu-ray digital for $59.99. It's a hefty price, but it's 6 discs and it's motherfucking Batman. Come on, man. Damn, yes, the complete animated series. Now, there's 2 different animated series. There's this one, and then there's this one. So, what's exactly the difference? Well, there is some here and there. First of all, this one came out in around 92 till around 98-ish or so. That was when this animated show ran. This one ran from about 2004-ish to around 2008, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. So they're 2 different series done by different creative teams, you name it, different stories, whatnot. I know of this one because I used to watch this back when I was a kid, and I loved it. I thought it was fucking awesome, man. It was a great animated show. I really dug the hell out of this one. This one I have never seen a single episode of. By the time it came out, 2004 around there, I was not really watching any animated stuff anymore. That had kind of passed me by. I wasn't really doing it as much. So I had sort of gotten out of watching the animated stuff for the most part. So this came out, it was something I wasn't even aware of. So I'm kind of curious about this, to be honest with you. Robin, Superman, Batgirl, Rogues Gallery, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler, Mr. Freeze, the darkness of Gotham City. Yeah, the Cape Crusader himself. I gotta admit, if it's as good or anything close to the original one in the 90s, this will be pretty goddamn sweet. I'm not gonna lie, man. And I do dig the animated Batman stuff. I really do. And I think the reason why I do is because you could do so much more with the characters. You could be more outlandish, a little bit more ridiculous, and you kind of go with it because it's animated, right? There's a certain level to it that you just kind of go with. And you could do some more wild stories, and you could do some amazing stuff that you can't do live action wise. I think you can play in the sandbox a little bit more, so to speak, and I really do appreciate that, man. I love Batman. I really do, man. I mean, it's not always roses. Batman and Robin can prove it, but for the most part, Batman is really great, man. And I think the reason why this is coming out is because literally the Batman is right around the corner, man. And so everyone is getting this sort of Batman fever, Dark Knight fever. And so why not take advantage of it? Like I said, I've never seen a single episode of it, but it does really intrigue me. And so, is it worth it? Is it good? Is it even half as good as the original animated series, which is fucking phenomenal? Because if it is, I might have to dive into it eventually. For all you Batman lovers out there, and there is a lot of you guys, is it well worth it? I mean, it comes with a lot of cool special features, some interesting stuff. The Batman has had many iterations, live action and animated, and most of the time, Batman doesn't disappoint. And I have a feeling that this one didn't either. I like my physical media shaken, not stirred. Bone. James Bone. Oh man, the Daniel Craig 5 film collection, the DVD for $32.99 now. This is not the 5 film collection. This is the old school 4 film collection that does not have No Time to Die in it, just so you know. So they have the DVD of the 5 film collections that and not the 4K. Hey, it's Target. What do you want, man? So, but finally having Daniel Craig have the full-on Bond collection set, all of the movies in one: Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die. Oh, man. You know what? I truly do believe this, that when all is said and done, years from now, 10, 20, 30, you name it. I do think that we will be saying that Daniel Craig has been one of the best Bonds of all time. He's easily in my top three. Easily is. I don't know where he would rank at this point. I think time is going to say more than anything else, but I really love a lot of the movies that he did. In fact, I can say I love pretty much all of them except for Spectre. I enjoy Spectre, but I don't exactly love it. The other ones I tend to really dig. And I thought he had a really solid run as Bond for the most part. I mean, yes, there's a movie or two that is kind of a clunker in there, but with every Bond actor, there's at least one that isn't as great as some of the other ones. Everyone has at least a stinker, okay? I mean, you can't really help it. When you make as many movies as some of these actors do playing Bond, the expectations are so high that one of the movies, or maybe two, are not going to be up to some of the other ones. That's just simple math, man. But I really do dig his run. I think he was really gritty, really dark, really dramatic, and he was one of the most action-packed Bonds of all time. And that guy put his body on the line like I wouldn't believe, man. He had injuries almost every single movie that he did, but he did it for the craft. He did it for being Bond and really getting into the character. And I give that guy a lot of credit, man. I mean, seriously. But if you really think about it, though, guys, nobody really gave him a chance. Because I remember when he got announced as Bond, and there was this whole thing, and he was on a boat, and he was speeding up to the press conference and everything. And everyone was like, Daniel Craig? Like, who's Daniel Craig? Like, I remember a lot of people were, like, really critical of him, especially after Pierce and some of the movies that Pierce did. And Pierce really felt like a quintessential Bond. And they thought that he'd do more movies, but he never did. And so when they went with Craig, they were like, wait, he's blonde and he looks not as refined as Bond usually is supposed to be. What are we going with? This is not the Bond that I know. This is not the classic Bond. It feels like they're getting away from that. And everybody was really critical, whether it was his height, his hair color, his build, you name it. Everybody was ready to dismiss this guy and get on his ass. But then when you saw Casino Royale, oh, you shut your fucking mouth, man. You definitely did, because it's that damn good. And it now is considered one of the best Bond films of all time. Yeah, he proved his worth as Bond. I truly do believe he did. And again, not all the movies are successful, but I think for the most part, he had some real great bangers, man. And I think he went out with a really great movie overall. I think No Time to Die is a really great tribute to the Craig run, to the character of Bond, and he gets a great send-off. And Craig deserves it in a big bad way, man. I mean, you may not like all the films, but you got to appreciate him as a Bond actor and the fact that I think he really has left his mark on the franchise. Whoever ends up succeeding him, good luck to you, man, because you got big shoes to fill, because Daniel Craig really took the role and reinvented it for a new generation, and he hit it out of the goddamn park, man. He was absolutely fucking amazing. And I think his run will be one of the great Bond runs of all time. Truly, truly believe that, man. I'm curious what you think of Daniel Craig. Good, bad, but you can't deny he definitely left a mark in a big bad way. Oh, amazing to finally see Craig get the love, for sure. A complete film set. Very well deserved indeed, and the physical media is definitely deserved as well. Not bad overall this week for Target. Shocker of a lifetime, but they actually came through, and I'm definitely digging it. Let's head out. I never doubted Target for a single second. Do you believe that? Seriously, come on, man. You gotta give Target a lot of respect, man, because this is a week that is a slow physical media release week. All things considered, it really is. And I have a feeling that the other places are probably not going to have a lot of stuff. I mean, Walmart pretty much proved that. Hell, the only thing they had is a Paw Patrol special. Yeah, come on, man. So the fact that Target has not one new release, not two new releases, but three. Come on, that is saying something, man. I mean, Target used to be the laughing stock of the physical media stores, and now they're pretty much hitting it out of the park every single week. Even on slow physical media release weeks, they still deliver the goods. And you definitely got to appreciate that, man. You really honestly do. I definitely do. It very much makes me a very happy physical media boy. It absolutely does, man. Just to see them doing their due diligence on physical media, even on a slow physical media release when they don't really need to put it out, but they still do. That's dedication, baby. Indeed it is, and I always appreciate that. I hope you do too. Like I said, never doubt it for a single second. Never. Never, ever doubt Target, man. They are becoming one of the kings of the in-store physical media world, and they're definitely bringing their A game all the damn time. Oh, yes. Hope you appreciate the goods, because I always do. But how we go to the other stores, and hopefully we'll find more physical media love ahead.
All right, everybody. We are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting indie titles we're showing off. If there is, I'll bring it back to Film Fan 108 H2 and show it up to each and every one of you. But before I do that, I got to talk about a trailer with you guys. Now, he's quickly becoming one of the fresh voices in the horror genre, somebody that we're very highly anticipating where he goes next, and sometimes when it comes to Jordan Peele, you just got to say nope. I'm not talking about saying no to his movies. I'm talking about his new movie, Nope. Yeah, that's the title of the movie. And the trailer came out recently. And, okay, I'm going to admit, I have no idea what this movie is. I have no idea what the complete premise of the movie is. I mean, what the trailer gives me is alien invasion vibes. That's what I'm getting here. That basically they're looking in the sky. Oh my God, there's something in the sky and it's grabbing us and it's lifting us in the air. And I'm thinking like, okay, that's aliens. Right? Maybe. I mean, this is Jordan Peele, to be honest with you. Sometimes you got to take the expectations and you got to kind of change them a bit, only because you're not quite sure what you're going to get here. But that being said, I like the idea of this sleepy community town finding out about these aliens and them having to figure out what's going on and fight back against the aliens, even if they're aliens. Beats the hell out of me, man. I mean, what I will say about Jordan Peele, right? I love Get Out. I think Get Out is really awesome. And I really like Us. I know a lot of people have kind of pushed back on Us. But yeah, it's not as good, I don't think, as Get Out. But I still think it's a pretty damn solid film, all things considered. But what I love about Jordan Peele is he always messes with your expectations, right? So you think it's going to be one thing, and it turns out to be something completely opposite and different, something you were not expecting whatsoever. And I like that. I think that's unique. And nowadays, certain genres, like the horror genre, at times have gotten predictable. So it's nice to be thrown a curveball every once in a while, but at the same time, you can only be clever for so long until it catches up with you. You look at someone like M. Night Shyamalan, who was really clever from the get-go. You look at Sixth Sense, and that shit blew everybody's minds. And you look at Unbreakable, and that was like, oh, whoa. And eventually it caught up where his cleverness was really no longer clever, and it ended up being predictable. And you always came to the movie saying, what's the twist, right? Because there's always a twist here. And so people were actively trying to figure out the twist and not really enjoying the ride of the movie. And I think the same may eventually be done for Jordan Peele. I'm hoping he bucks the trend, though. I really do. But even if he doesn't, even let's say this is a standard alien invasion flick with some clever dialogue and some interesting characters, I'll take it. because I think Jordan Peele will do a good job with that. At the same time, I don't want it to be like a situation with Signs. Even though I really love Signs, and I think Signs is a really good movie, I think there was a lot more potential with the film. Like, it was ramping up so much. The tension was ramping up to this exponential level that it never was really able to reach in the finale of the film. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it, but it's not as good as I think it could have been. And I don't want Jordan Peele to be one of those people where the movie is so good, you're ramping up, the tension is there, you're seeing things in the sky, people floating up, and then suddenly you get to the end, seeing the aliens or seeing what happens with the aliens, and then you're suddenly like, huh? That's it? Like, major disappointment vibes, right? I don't want Jordan Peele to go down that road. It's so tough, man, because he's made two really solid movies, two movies that had twists and turns in it that you were really intrigued by and fascinated by. But now people are wanting to see what's up your sleeve more, right? I mean, a magician can only show his tricks so long until you start to know, how he does it. Jordan Peele's a good filmmaker. I like the dialogue, I like his scripts, I like the characters, I like the situations that he's done. He's a great voice that's bringing out some new material or old material freshened up in a new way in some aspects. This could be interesting. There's some really great actors in here, Daniel Kaluuya being one of them, a few other people. I think it's going to be really cool. I think that it's going to be something unique, and with Jordan Peele, it's always taking an old idea and putting a new spin on it, and I'm interested to see where he goes next. But this movie is being kept really secret. I mean, under wraps. There's not much that's really known about this movie outside of what you see in the trailer. That's it. You see people flying up into the sky, you see something in the clouds, but that's it. I don't know what this movie is exactly. I like the fact that it's secrecy, though. That's the one thing I really like about this, is the fact that you don't know a lot. Trailers give you so much, and we're so much in the business of spoiling shit that by the time you enter in the movie, you pretty much know like 90% of what's gonna fucking happen. And so I like the fact that things are being kept secret, that you don't know exactly what's going on, and that's part of the fun of it as well. I like the mysterious aspect of the movie. I'm just hoping that it delivers. Jordan Peele has been good at delivering so far, but can the third time again be the charm? I'm curious about that. I want to know what you guys think. Definitely let me know. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart. Hopefully some interesting goodies worth checking out. All right, everybody. In at the second Walmart, and it's been a little bit tough finding the physical media love this week, hasn't it? Yeah, it's one of those weeks. Yeah, it's for damn sure, man. We have still seen a little bit here and a little bit there, though. So here I am coming into the second Walmart thinking to myself, wait a minute. Is there really going to be anything this week? I mean, if there wasn't anything last week when it was really plentiful, there really isn't going to be anything this week, right? Well, honestly, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I'm serious. There's not much, okay? There's just a little tiny bit of physical media indie weirdness, but even that, oh shit. You know I'll definitely take it, baby. I mean, especially over here where they must be doing some sort of reset, because it's really empty over here, man. There's a lot of empty spaces, so they must be doing a massive reset. So there isn't much that they have out, but they still manage to supply just a wee bit of physical media bizarreness, so you know what that means, man. We are absolutely going back to Film Fan 108 HU or U, SU are going to show off that physical media love because you have to. There's not much this week, so we're definitely dependent on you. Hey, yo. Oh, where am I? Oh, sorry, my bad. You're depending on me? Well, duh. Of course I'm depending on you. I mean, if I could depend on somebody else to show out the physical media goodness, I would, but you're all I've got. So what you're telling me is I'm your savior, right? I'm your
physical media savior. It does sound pretty good, ain't gonna lie. Well, sad, but unfortunately true. Just, please don't let me down. Seriously? I won't let you down, Captain. Aye, aye. Wait a minute. What was I supposed to do again? Just show off the physical media. Please. I kid. Of course I'm gonna show off the physical media. You got nothing to worry about here. I will hold down the fort. Just you wait and see. It won't burn down on my watch. It may just get a little burned and crispy, that's all. But at least it's still standing. I know that isn't saying much. I'll do my best, guys. And this week, I really do have to because there really isn't much to show off. I mean, Walmart had Paw Patrol. Yay. I mean, Target has some good shit, so there is that, but not a hell of a lot to speak of, man. So that was why I was a little kind of weird that actually the second Walmart had Indie Love. That was kind of weird. I'm like, hey, we're going to go in and there ain't going to be shit. Because if there wasn't on the Big Plentiful week, why would there be any on the slower week? But then again, this is Walmart. They're weird. Do you really expect anything less? I mean, come on, man. So, even though it isn't a lot, it's still indie bizarreness and weirdness. And when it comes to second Walmart, it's always worth diving into. Maybe not as plentiful as I'd like, but just as weird? Oh, absolutely. Well, here we are yet again with all that Walmart weirdness, baby. Oh, indeed we are back. Maybe not better than ever, but hey, we're back to showing off the goods. Not a lot, but this week something is definitely better than nothing. How about we dive in, shall we, with the first thing I'm seeing, and that's none other than Fallen. Okay. Interesting indeed. We all have our demons. We do. Not gonna lie, some more than others. Oh, ooh, pray the horror away. They took his world, now they have come for his soul. Father Abraham was ready to save the world from an evil menace using exorcism until tragedy struck. Man, I hate when that happens. Years later, he lives on a remote farm with his daughter, haunted by the faces of those he saved and those he could not. After finding a pale humanoid creature, what the fuck? Okay, that really spun me for a loop. I was not expecting that. Like, I was like, okay, this priest tried to do exorcisms. Some he ended up succeeding, some he failed, and then suddenly a pale humanoid creature. I'm like, whoa, okay, this suddenly took a crazy turn, man. That's interesting, huh? Lurking in the woods one night, he shoots and cremates the monster, but all too soon he discovers that the beast was not alone. Oh, they never are. And that his troubles have only just begun. This frightening supernatural horror tale will chill you to your soul. Oh, okay, so he has to be tested, his faith has to be tested, and these beasts are out for blood. Oh, maybe the 666 beast? Maybe, and if so, oh man, he's fucking screwed. Jesus Christ. Oh man, literally. Goodness gracious, man. You know, there is some really great religious supernatural horror out there that I've really come to appreciate over the years. Some really, really great ones out there. Movies like The Unholy definitely come to mind because you gotta be careful who you pray to. Oh, you definitely do, man. God damn, did I really dig this one. I thought it was really cool. I mean, yeah, it kind of stumbles in the third act a little bit, but I really like the demonic entity. I like the idea of thinking it's this great religious figure when in fact it's anything but.
I dig this one. I think it's better than some of the more recent religious horror flicks that have come out in recent years. It's not bad, actually. One of the more decent ones, that's for damn sure. I mean, I definitely do dig that one. I also got to give a little bit of love to The Church. The Church is really great, man. If you have never dived into The Church, it is pretty damn solid. Basically, it's about this old school cathedral and this ancient evil that's trying to awaken again. It's so really, really great. It has a lot of really great religious undertones and some really great horrific vibes to it. I thought some of the creature effects were really cool as well. Pretty damn solid movie. Definitely dig that one for sure. That one is solid, of course. Pretty fucking amazing. I dig that one. Of course, if you're looking for a little bit of religious undertone, comedy stylings, vampire-ish, definitely Jacob's Wife. That is a really fun one, man. She will prey on you. Something tells me I'd really like that if it was Barbara Crampton. Something tells me, ooh, oh, maybe not. Boy, is this a really fun one. I really dig this movie, man. Some great horror effects, some really great acting. I like the comedy elements here, and I like the twist on the religious vibes. I thought it was really cool, man. I really dug that one a lot. That one is really great as well. Always appreciate that one. Of course, I gotta say a few words about The Last Exorcism, man. One of the best exorcism films in recent years. Love this movie so much, man. I really love the idea of this guy who is a pretender to people. They think that he's this great exorcism expert, but he's anything but. And he goes to this house thinking that this girl is just disturbed and doesn't really have a demonic entity inside her. And once he realizes that there's something much more at play here than he ever imagined, he's so fucking screwed, man. I really love this one. Really great religious horror. Fantastic. And of course, I mean, seriously, if we're going to talk about religious horror, we got to talk about the granddaddy of them all, The Exorcist. Oh, man, still to this day, it is so goddamn effective. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, for a movie that came out so damn long ago, it still holds so much power over an audience. It's just that damn powerful. The script, the directing, the acting, the effects, everything is top notch here, and it worked in spades, man. Still one of the best, and nobody has ever really taken that crown away, man, and rightfully so. So many good, really great religious horror out there, and there is definitely always more to dive into. The Rite, which isn't bad. I would also say The Ninth Gate, which Ninth Gate is pretty cool too, all things considered. I do like some of the religious undertones there, supernatural elements, definitely some cool stuff there. And yet another one with The Fallen. I'm not sure. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks this could be really cool because I like the idea of these, like, pale humanoid creatures. There's something about that that brings a unique element to it that you haven't really quite seen before. I like the idea of this priest that has regrets and has lost his faith, and these humanoid creatures that are invading his area, and the fact that his faith has to be tested yet again. I like that. I don't know how good the movie is, but something tells me this could be an interesting surprise of a flick, all things considered. May not be perfect, but I have a feeling better than your average horror indie flick. Fallen. There's some really great supernatural religious horror flicks out there. Can't say there's a lot of great ones anymore. Some miss the mark, but something tells me Fallen actually might be half good. And that alone definitely intrigues me. Love, desire, death. Jeez. I knew there was something missing on my Tinder profile. I do indeed. Thanks for reminding me, Shattered. Thanks indeed. She'll love him to death. Oh, will she now? Oh, who we got in this? Cameron Monahan, Frank Grillo, John motherfucking Malkovich. Yeah. All right. Oh, what is this thing of beauty? Love,
is always a little dangerous. Well, that's what they say. Let's dive in. In the tradition of Fatal Attraction comes this dazzling action thriller starring Academy Award nominee John Malkovich and Frank Grillo after the lonely tech millionaire Chris encounters a charming, sexy Sky. Passion grows between them, and when he's injured, she quickly steps in as his nurse. But Sky's odd behavior makes Chris suspect that she has more sinister intentions, especially when Sky's roommate is found dead from mysterious causes. Damn. That's one dangerous bitch. Oh, indeed it is, man. Oh, chicks with sinister intentions. Where have we seen that one before? Well, if you're any type of movie lover, you have seen it a time or two. Yes, Fatal Attraction is one of the best ones, but there is other ones. Like, oh, this one I really love. It's just a little crush, all time I think, every time we touch. Oh man, Carrie Elways and Alicia motherfucking Silverstone. God damn, do I love this fucking movie, man. This is a great flick. It really is, man. And Alicia Silverstone plays the most crazed, obsessed chick over this guy. And if she can't have him, man, ain't no one else gonna. And I love this flick, man. She is terrifying as hell in this. Love this movie so much. So damn good. Really dig this flick. This is one of a great underrated movies, man. Love that one. That is pretty cool. Definitely dig that. Of course, I have to talk about a little Play Misty for me. The scream you hear may be your own. Ooh. You better watch out, Clint. She's coming for your cojones, baby. Oh, man. This is another really great one. You know, we talk about Fatal Attraction and everything, which is very true. Fantastic movie, but it's movies like Play Misty for me. If it wasn't for this film, then there wouldn't be movies like Fatal Attraction because this was one of the originators. Really great. Clint Eastwood plays a sort of radio host DJ, and this woman is so obsessed with him, and she just goes out of her way to stalk him, and literally, again, crazed chick that if she can't have him, nobody's gonna either. So good, man. Great flick. Never check that out. Definitely do it. So damn good, man. I mean, you have crazy chicks, yes, they are, but sometimes it's a little bit of a supernatural occurrence if we're dealing with Serpent Slayer with Jeff motherfucking Fahey. She hunts to mate and mates to kill. Sorry, Jeff. You're on the menu, baby. Oh, indeed you are, man. I just love the idea that this woman is basically taking his energy and his essence for herself. Because basically, spoiler alert, she's a succubus. Yes. And she wants every last drop of him. Oh, I can see why. It's Jeff Fahey. It makes sense, folks. But it is so goddamn good. Very underrated, man. But I really dig this one a lot. Pretty damn cool, all things considered. I think it's a really fun one, man. I really do. And one of the granddaddies of them all, Basic Instinct. Oh, damn, is this one of the best? And there's a reason. Sharon Stone in that damn ice pick. Oh, man. Honestly, I can't blame any man that dies under her because, let's be real, you'd die a really happy man. You really would. Oh, and it would be so worth it. Oh, man, do I love Basic Instinct, man. I mean, Paul Verhoeven directing, Michael Douglas, Sharon Stone. It is sexy. It is erotic. It's killer, baby. And I definitely dig this one, man. Classics never go out of style, and Basic Instinct is absolutely one of them. So damn good, man. God, I love this movie so much. I mean, there is other ones out there. I would say a movie like Swim Fan. That's actually a really good one. Swim Fan's not bad. One of the newer ones. I'd also say Poison Ivy is really good as well. Very underrated also. Maybe not on the same level as The Crush, but God, pretty damn good, always considered. But I look at Shattered and I ask myself, well, are we really going to get anything new or interesting that it will intrigue me with this film? I don't honestly think so. I mean, it's not that it has to do anything new necessarily, but you've seen it all. If you've seen some of the older school movies, If I want to watch something really good, I'll just watch the older flicks to see a masterclass in evil female manipulation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can kind of see where it's all going, predictable. I mean, you know that she has evil intentions. You know that obviously she's trying to get money or revenge. He's getting suspicious, finding out the truth. She's gonna come after him. He's gotta go after her. Yada frickin' yada. You know where it's all going. Mundane, predictable as hell. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Frank Grillo. I love John motherfucking Malkovich, but I can see them in better movies, to be honest with you. Something that's this predictable and you know where it's all headed doesn't really intrigue me all that much. I mean, a genre like this, you have the classics. You have Fatal Attraction, Plain Misty for me, Basic Instinct, and a few others out there. And some of the B-level ones are really cool too, and they have a fun, entertaining, mischievous quality to them. But something tells me Shattered is just same old, same old. Nothing wrong with it, just you've seen it so many times, you don't really want to see it anymore. I mean, these type of movies get made constantly over the course of the year. We get straight to DVD flicks like this. Hell, Hallmark makes these type of motherfucking movies, man. I mean, seriously, it gets made to death. And at a certain point, I'm just kind of over it. You know what? I'll stick to something like Basic Instinct because Sharon Stone crossing her legs, well, folks, that's a hell of a lot more intriguing and a hell of a lot more rewatchable than something like this. Mars can definitely be a bitch. Oh, it can. That's why we haven't explored it yet, guys, because honestly, once we get there, the mess get even fucking worse, baby. How far would you go to build a new life? Pretty goddamn far. Perhaps even kill? Let's dive in, shall we? Let's do it indeed. Mankind's earliest settlers on the Martian frontier, Ilsa and Riza, inhabit a desolate farmstead with their child, Remy. They work the land and shield their daughter from the dangers of the harsh surroundings. When hostile intruders threaten to expel them from the compound, the family is forced to fight to survive in this science fiction thrill ride. Oh, indeed. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime a while ago, and I was actually really intrigued by the storyline, the idea of going to Mars, the idea of settling there, and intruders trying to take over the place that you've established. I like that. I think it's kind of clever, and I think it's unique. Usually, a lot of the ones that you've seen, science fiction stories, movies about Mars, is them just going to Mars, right? They go to Mars, they explore it, they just get there, and there's weird things that are going on. Here, the establishment has already happened, people are already there, and the twists and turns that follow. And I like that. I like that they took a little bit of a different turn than you normally see with going to Mars type of sci-fi flicks. And sci-fi fantasy, it is interesting because you can spin some really great concepts and some stories out of this, and I think this is honestly one of them. There is some really great twists and turns here that I really appreciate, and I won't really spoil any of it because I think it's kind of intriguing. You think it's one thing, and then it turns into another thing, and then it turns into something else. I said I won't spoil it, but I actually really loved the acting here. I loved the surprises in the story. I love the action. I thought this was actually a really solid sci-fi action drama flick. Well worth it, actually. Some really great heartwarming moments, some really great thrill rides. It definitely packs a punch. Much better than I think I would have given it credit for had I not seen it. But it does actually deliver for the most part, actually. Really solid flick, man. And I gotta talk about Sofia Boutella because, man, do I think Sofia Boutella is a really great actress who, unfortunately, doesn't get the type of love that I think she really deserves as an actress. She's done some really great roles. She can handle herself in the action and also the dramatic work. She can really be a great, powerful actress when she's called upon to do so. And she's done some projects that I think have really been outstanding, like Hotel Artemis. Man, is this one hell of a great movie, man. This is an underrated masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. What a fantastic sci-fi action epic this is, man. I saw this in the movie theater with Bob. We enjoyed the hell out of this flick. We had a really great time with this film. We love the characters, we love the premise, we love the futuristic ideas. It was really well done, but ain't nobody saw the goddamn thing, man, and it's a real damn shame. I think the more people have found it, the more they've liked it, but man, people still need to find this, man. This is a really great underrated gem that I really, really enjoyed, man. Extremely well done. And Sophia Boutella was fucking fantastic in the movie. Really kick ass. That was a really awesome one. Of course, one that got a little bit more high profile love, and deservedly so, and that is Atomic Blonde. Oh man, is this so good? I mean, yes, it's mainly known for how kick ass Charlize Theron is, fair enough, but Sophia Boutella, baby. She is gorgeous in this movie. She's kick ass. And I ain't gonna lie, she has a hot sex scene with Charlize Theron, which doesn't hurt either. It's really good, man. She's great here. It's really a fantastic movie, and she played a fantastic part in that. That is a really solid flick, man. She's a good actress. She does a great job. I mean, Kingsman: The Secret Service. That was a really great role. She was fucking awesome in that movie. I would also say she was really great in Star Trek Beyond. In a role that most people didn't even realize that was actually her. She did a fucking awesome job in that movie. Unfortunately, the movie didn't gain a lot of love at the box office, but she was fucking awesome in it. Then again, she's also done some shit jobs like Prisoner of Ghostland. Yeah, that was dog shit, man. That's really fucking bad. Yeah, there ain't no excuses for that one. And then The Mummy with Tom motherfucking Cruise. Yeah, she played the female mummy. And yes, it's a big budget movie. She was one of the stars in that. But unfortunately, when a movie like that bombs, unfortunately, your career tends to go along with it. And unfortunately, that happened to her in this case. It's a great role to take, but unfortunately, you gotta hope that people actually want to go see it and that a big studio film like that actually succeeds. Because if it doesn't, then you end up going down with the ship. And that's the unfortunate thing. Like I said, Sophia Boutella is a fantastic actress. Depend on the projects that she gets, but she's really solid. And I think Settlers is one of these movies that really proves that she can do dramatic. She can still do action. She's definitely a great female actress when called upon to do so. She just needs the right project and probably stay away from any mummy iteration with Tom Cruise. That probably should have been a given anyways, but you know, you see the amount on the check, you see that you're getting a major starring role. Yeah, you tend to not think of all the shitty qualities that it could have. You're just seeing the potential. And I get it, I understand it. She's a really great actress, and I hope that she bounces back from some of the low points. And honestly, The Mummy is pretty goddamn low, man. Yeah, it really is. It's unfortunate because it probably took a step in the wrong direction for her career, which really stinks, but if you're a good actress, you're going to bounce back from that stuff, and hopefully Sophia Boutella does. And Settlers is one of a really great movie that really showcases her in a great way and really proves that she still has the chops to do really great, amazing work when given the right opportunity. Pretty goddamn solid, all things considered. Definitely appreciate that one in a big bad way, as I guess I appreciate all of the indie Walmart love. Okay, not completely, guys, but hey, we got some interesting ones this time around, and I guess you gotta definitely appreciate the love, because honestly, there ain't much physical media this week to appreciate anyway, so hey, a little bit of Walmart weirdness never hurt nobody, right? Who would I pick between a priest versus a humanoid creature? Seriously, you're asking this Jew? I think you already know the answer to that question. Oh, what do you mean? A woman who has evil intentions? Oh, that's something you don't see every day. And you want to know what? Settling on Mars isn't so bad. I mean, yeah, you gotta fight each other for food and water and air and, you know, trust issues and shit. It's nothing like Earth. Yeah, right. Oh, shit. Oh, man. The Walmart weirdness is definitely back. a little bit, but a little bit I will definitely take. Oh, that is for damn sure, man. Not half bad this week, especially on a slow release week. Any physical media, oh, I'll definitely take it. Indeed, I will, man. Not half bad overall for the indie weirdness, that is for damn sure. And not like it's a crazy plentiful week anyway, so I'll take what I can get. But we do have, well, the fourth and final location, so maybe more physical media? Well, not quite sure, but hey, here's the hoping.
All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location. And when it comes to physical media goodness, you can always depend on the beast, right? Right? Well, not always, but the gamble's worth it, isn't it? It kind of is. So how about we take that gamble and go into, oh yes, Best Buy, the Beast, Best Buy, baby, and yeah, it's been kind of a slower physical media week, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. A little tiny bit here, a little tiny bit there, but not incredibly plentiful, all things considered. So, what will Best Buy have? I'm not really sure, and honestly, I'm not really expecting a hell of a lot. But then again, they could surprise me. Maybe. How about we go in, check it out? All right, everybody, we are in at Best Buy under the new releases. And where exactly is the new releases, right? You're seeing the same thing I am, right? There's literally no new releases for this week. I mean, they got a lot of other stuff. They've got the Ghostbusters Afterlife Love. They've got the Blu-ray, the 4K, the collection set, Dune, Fast 9. Why exactly is Fast 9 still under the new releases exactly? I really am sick and tired of seeing Vin Diesel's bald head. I really am, man. I guess they just keep it up here because it's popular. Really? Oh, looking at all the copies, I don't think it's as popular as they think it is. But then again, who's still buying Fast 9, you know what I'm saying? They have that, they have the Justice League Love, Shang-Chi, Bond, old-ass Clint, Candyman. Oh, yes, more Fast 9, because, Lord, if we didn't get it over there, we get it in another location, and the Steelbook Love as well. You know, there's a lot of Steelbooks that sell out at Best Buy. This is not one of them. Shocker of a lifetime, man. Injustice, Space Jam. Oh, speaking of Steelbooks that don't sell, gee, I wonder why. You know, look, $34.99 is not bad for some Steelbooks. For LeBron, that's just too fucking high. That's for damn sure, man. And you got a little Ron's Gone Wrong love as well. There's some releases, not new though. Maybe on the other side? Oh, okay, not so much. Oh shit. Yeah, not so much new on this side either. I mean, hey, we still have a ton of Eternals. My God, man, this really is not gonna sell out big time. I mean, the Steelbook probably will, fair enough, but something tells me that they're gonna be hanging on to a lot of copies of this. As I said, not a bad MCU movie, all things considered, but not exactly top tier either. Kind of a shame. I think though it will grow in appreciation over the years, but for the time being, a lot of people were very lukewarm on this thing. And seeing as all the copies are still here, yeah, a lot of people are feeling the same damn way. Yeah, that they do have. Oh, speaking of things that are still hanging around, Pirates of the Caribbean, the 4K. Oh my God, every single week I see it over here, and every single week I'm noticing that there's the same goddamn amount of copies that there has been over and over and over again. I tell you, I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I think Disney did a great job with most of this series, and usually Disney 4Ks are not terrible, but when there's a really bad one, there is. And when the reviews come out and roast it like it has been, ain't nobody buying that shit, man. Maybe Disney should go back and redo it. But then again, that would cost more money. And, you know, Disney being like over $1 billion company, they can't really afford it, folks. They can't really, man. You know, they've got that's still hanging around. They've got Black Widow. Oh, they've even got a little bit more Requiem for a Dream Steelbook Love. Very nice. Free Guy, old.
Venom, Yellowstone. But Yellowstone is blowing up big time, man. People really love Yellowstone. Never seen a single episode of the goddamn show. I really do want to get into it. There's so many shows I want to get into, but man, this one has like really been gaining popularity over the years, man, and I can see why. It's kind of like Dallas on a Ranch. And it's got Kevin Costner, man. Kevin Costner's fucking awesome. I mean, come on, anything Kevin Costner should instantly be popular. Seriously, man. I mean, they've got that respect. A little Hacksaw Ridge Steelbook love they still got. Nice. You want to know what, man? Andrew Garfield's stock has really been going up big time, man. People are really loving Andrew Garfield in a big way, and I'm kind of glad to see it. I've really been a fan of Andrew Garfield for a really long time. I've loved a lot of the stuff that he's done. He's a really great actor, and for the longest time, very underrated, but now a lot of people are finally appreciating him, and damn right, man. They should have done that a long time ago, but better late than never, you know what I'm saying? Better late than never indeed. But they have some physical media stuff around, but not anything new. Of course not. Maybe in the back. Well, not exactly. Yeah, even in the back here, there's really nothing new to show off at all. Seriously, they're bone dry for new release love here at Best Buy this week. I mean, they have stuff, but it's stuff that we saw in previous weeks. I mean, I know you're excited though because they still have the 355, and I know that you're jonesing for more of that. I mean, to be honest with you, as far as spy movies go, I thought I would never see something that was as boring as Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. That bored me to tears, but even that movie is kind of intriguing. The acting is so fantastic. This movie doesn't even have that. So honestly, to me, it's even more boring than Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And that is saying a lot, damn it. And that's not good praise. That is not at all, man. I mean, they still have some Steelbook love for the Eternals. They still have that, but damn, a lot of Eternals love that they still have here. But I like the Steelbook. And it's some good releases overall. The artwork isn't half bad. Just, honestly, lesser tier MCU. And how good the MCU has been as of late, lesser MCU is still really good, but not as good as other MCU films. The bar is high. Didn't exactly cross the bar, you know what I'm saying? But still, really cool artwork for that. I mean, they have the Kingsman love. Hell, they even have the Steelbook collection set love. Oh, that was really cool, man. They still have some of that. $59 for 3 limited Steelbooks, 3 movies, 4K. Not bad overall. It's pretty good. They have that. Of course, they have King Richard, House of Gucci. Oh, they still have a little bit of alligator goodness. Yes. Oh, so fantastic, man. Goddamn. You know, I never thought I'd see a day where Alligator gets a 4K release, but I'm so fucking glad to see it, man. So awesome. Such a great fucking movie to dive into. Love that. Of course, Almost Famous. They even have Looper. Now, they only had one copy of Looper before, and that was this one without the slip, but now they have a few copies with the slip, which is really cool as well. I thought this one did have a slip, but when I showed it last week, it didn't really have one. I was like, wait a minute, I thought it did. It did, they just didn't have copies with it. Now they do, thank God. That, Escape from LA. Oh my God, the 4K goodness. Again, living in a world where Escape from LA gets a 4K is wild to me, man. God damn, dude. And like I said, I fucking love this movie. I even love the bad guy here, Cuervo Jones. He's so good, man. Oh, dude, he's so great as a bad guy, man. This revolutionary dickhead. This is so fantastic, man. This motherfucking city can kill anybody, Vatro. Oh, man. So fucking good. I love that shit. Oh, dude, you gotta experience it. It's wild, cheesy as shit, but I so fucking love it, man. To me, underrated Carpenter. So good, dude. And you also have The Howling, which is amazing. The fact that this is still here. 4K goodness for The Howling. Seeing all that werewolf transformation love. Fantastic. Of course, they have Walking a Mile, Green Mile. Oh, man. Awesome. Love this movie. Fantastic. Of course, they have that, which I really appreciate. And, of course, they have this. God damn it. They even have some in the back, too. You know, here's the thing about it. I can't find the Steelbook to save my life for Black Widow. I can't find the Steelbook to save my life for Suicide Squad, for Free Guy. But you know what I keep on seeing? I keep on seeing this motherfucker always staring me in the goddamn face. Ah, Jesus Christ, man. I really am getting sick and tired of this shit. I really am, man. You can take your nitro and shove it up your ass, man. God damn it. Ay. I mean, they have some releases, some stuff here, some stuff there. Cool releases, Last Duel, Cobra Kai, Karate Kid, but not exactly new stuff this week. But then again, there really isn't much to show off anyways. So Best Buy probably gave up. Can't quite say I blame them, but hey, still physical media love regardless. You gotta appreciate it, right? I always do. Let's head out. So I said that I wasn't expecting much from Best Buy, right? Well, that's a good thing because they matched my expectations. They indeed did. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but shit, I'll take it. Oh, man. This week, man. Good Lord. I mean, look, there's not much to really show off at many of the places anyways, to be honest with you, man. After such a huge release week last week, man, we are literally just digging and searching for whatever we can fucking find, man. It's literally like just trying to dig in the dirt and find a rock or two, and if you're that lucky, shit, you'll take what you can get, man. Damn. Most people are not really filling the physical media this week. There's not much to fill anyways, and can't quite say I blame them. Most are taking a little bit of a back seat on the physical media love this week, and let's hope next week proves a hell of a lot more plentiful than this week is being, in a big bad way, man. Let's hope indeed. In the meantime, well, shocker of a lifetime, Best Buy's got Zippity Doodah. Actually, most places have Zippity Doodah, but are you seriously all that surprised? I kind of doubt that you're shocked. Neither am I, man, but that being said, we saw a little bit here, a little bit there. Still, any physical media love is still good physical media love, dare I say, and I know you agree. But after such a crazy, wild week of trying to find whatever physical media we can find, we did our due diligence the best we possibly can, so how about we head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody, that'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, it was a pretty goddamn slow week, ain't it? It definitely is, but I'm kind of okay with that. Like, seriously, I really am, because this week, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even get anything this week. Like, I didn't get any regular movies to show you guys, and I didn't get any packages in the mail for, like, you know, my monthly pickup stuff. Like, I didn't get anything this week at all. I mean, there's packages that are on the way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm tracking them on my phone as we speak. But, yeah, nothing this week, man. And it's all right. It really is, because you kind of need a breather a little bit. I mean, I know that we're going to be getting some mega media coming up soon. I know there's going to be a lot of crazy releases and exclusives, and it's going to be a bonanza, man. It's going to be nuts. But every now and again, you kind of need a little bit of breathing room. I mean, I've been doing pre-orders so much, man. I've been buying so much media that to have at least 1 week where I get to relax a little bit, that ain't half bad, man. I got huge watch piles of stuff that I need to watch, a lot of things to take care of. So, yeah, 1 week where I don't have a lot of physical media love, that's okay with me, man. I mean, when you're a physical media lover, right, you expect this. I've seen the highest of highs, I've seen the lowest of lows, and I've seen weeks where it's just sort of maintains the staticness of just physical media, like not much there. And this is one of those weeks, man. It doesn't mean that it's still not worth it to show off the media. It always is. Regardless, even a slow physical media release week still bears some fruit regardless. So it's always worth it to show off media. At least to me it is, guys. But it was a nice little lesser week for stores, for myself, probably for you guys out there. Still worth going out and checking out the store love, all that goodness. Maybe picking up releases that you haven't picked up in a while because maybe you finally got a chance to with a little bit of breathing room.
Perhaps, if you did pick up anything good, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, as I said, I got nothing this week, and I'm absolutely cool with it, man. I'm totally fine with that shit. I got so much coming in the mail and so much stuff to watch, anyways, that yeah, it's kind of nice to have a week where you don't have a huge pile of movies at your doorstep that is just literally waiting for you. I mean, it's cool. I love that shit, but every once in a while, I'll take a little bit of a week where I can just chillax, just a little tiny bit, guys. Physical media love will eventually come back in a big bad way. Trust me, it ain't going nowhere, guys. Physical media has had its challenges and has had its moments, and there's times when the stores could do a hell of a lot better than they have been, but I think this is a week where everybody's kind of taking a breather because the physical media that's coming is going to be some stuff that is going to be wild, crazy, and absolutely well worth diving into. So enjoy the little breather for the moment, because when physical media comes back, it's going to come back in a big, bad way. And before I let you guys go, I got to talk about this. Now, we talked about Belfast this week, right? And yes, it's a really great movie, and I really loved it, and I thought it was a really fantastic story. But those movies are actually becoming a dime a dozen now. They're not ones that get high-profile releases in the cinemas. They're not as talked about as they used to. And this CNN Entertainment article tends to put a little bit more perspective into that. Mid-budget movies, as we knew them, are in decline. What does that mean for cinema? Let's dive in, shall we? Many have lamented the perceived demise of the mid-budget movie in recent years. These movies, everything from romantic comedies like Sleepless in Seattle to dramas like Philadelphia or Good Will Hunting, used to be common. Theaters were filled with an assortment of comedies and biopics and whodunits. Over the last few years, though, the film landscape has been changing, moving more toward the realm of big-budget movies with gargantuan marketing campaigns. The shift has been chronicled extensively. Remakes of The Lion King or the upcoming Little Mermaid signal a retreat to old ideas, and flicks about superheroes like Spider-Man are a dime a dozen. Of course they are. There are many differing definitions of what exactly a mid-budget film is. Generally, it's a movie that lies in the space between an art house indie flick and big-budget thriller. Something like A Home Alone or Shawshank Redemption. Some say they cost between $5 million and $75 million. Others would say between $15 million to $60 million. Many are genre films, and they are widely consumed and loved, though sometimes without the artful aesthetics that make an indie darling. Courtroom dramas, all that stuff, they can't get made. Actor Matt Damon said in an interview last year. You want the most accessible thing you can make in terms of language and culture, and what is that? A superhero movie. But to say that mid-budget movies don't exist anymore isn't completely true either. Film experts said, like other art and media, they've changed, and the culture around movies has changed with them. Big studios want big blockbusters, especially during COVID. Damon, who has long been outspoken about the decline of the mid-budget, middle-brow film, isn't completely wrong, though. While still in production, horror, thriller, romance, biography, and drama films all saw declines in their budgets, according to a 2017 analysis by a film data researcher. Because of COVID-19, the budgets from those years are not directly comparable to film production budgets in a pandemic, but they do demonstrate a declining trend in investment. Daniel Loria is an editorial director at Box Office Pro covering global cinema. Big studios like Warner Brothers or Disney are dabbling less and less in the mid-budget movie, opting to instead invest in larger blockbuster releases which will make more money, which does seem more obvious, honestly. But in order for these blockbusters to be successful, they need to appeal to international audiences too. So movies that may be culturally specific to the US don't necessarily get the same amount of investment. What we're seeing now, studios are releasing fewer movies to movie theaters. But the ones they do, they're swinging for the fences. They're going for the home runs, which, again, is completely understandable. I get why they're doing it. This trend isn't new, but it's one that's been accelerated by the pandemic. Sure, there was a slowdown of these mid-budget movies before, but films like Hustlers or Knives Out were still in theaters, and they still made money, which is very true. Now, those movies show up on streaming platforms. Even Knives Out 2 will come to Netflix this fall, where they may not be marketed as heavily or simply get lost in the endless shuffle of movie titles, which is very true. Unlike in the 1990s, the peak of mid-budget movies, these films have a lot more to compete with too, making it even harder to make money. In a post-pandemic market, what makes 60 million isn't the same as what it used to be, which unfortunately is true too, guys. Mid-budget films move to streaming and get lost. Streaming's rising influence in our culture plays a significant role here. Whereas movie studios typically want to reach as broad of an audience as possible, streaming services are all about the niche, attempting to appeal to very specific audiences through algorithms. For that strategy to be successful, these services want to collect a wide variety of films within a specific genre. It's in their best financial interest. That's why, for example, more romantic comedies are seemingly released on streaming than in theaters. Streaming gives us more of the same, more of what the algorithm thinks we want. When mid-range movies get theatrical releases, there's a leap of faith involved. Audiences can encounter something new or weird even if it's not that great. There's also community in a theater, the whole row erupting in laughter during a comedy, or the collective gasp during a horror movie. Streaming platforms erase these intangibles, often reducing the experience to consumption. Which is actually kind of true too, to be honest with you. When you make a decision to go out of your house to go to a movie theater, you're not going to watch content, you're going to watch a movie. Simply the act of going to the movies and all that entails, the tickets, the drive, maybe the babysitter, requires some sort of time and energy investment from the viewer. But because of the ambient nature of television and our cultural habit of using the TV as background noise, deciding to stay home and stream is an inherently different and less immersive experience, which isn't wrong either. Even if a mid-budget movie on a streaming service manages to break through the noise and manages to be well made and interesting, there can still be a disconnect. When you're at home, that relationship is much less special. Still, it's not an easy path forward. Mid-budget movies released in theaters can still get lost, as some viewers may avoid seeing a movie in the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Loria used the recently released Marry Me as an example. 3 years ago, this film would have only been in theaters, at least for the first few months. Now, it's simultaneously on Peacock, NBC streaming service, meaning a lot of people will choose to watch it that way instead, which is very true. Unlike the mid-budget movies, expensive blockbusters need movie theaters in order to do well. It's just the way the business model is set up. It's why these big movies like No Time to Die or Spider-Man No Way Home are still getting theatrical releases rather than going straight to streaming. But the movie theaters themselves can't survive through blockbusters alone. There's simply not enough of them, and the shift could result in less movies being shown theatrically, which could spell trouble for smaller local theaters. Fewer movies at the theater means many people will simply go less often, opting instead to watch something on a streaming service. In small and medium-sized cities where there's less of a demand for art house and indie movies to help fill space between big releases, that could be a problem. Shifting to streaming changes film culture. At the end of the day, Hollywood is like any industry. It wants to make money. The superhero movies, the remakes, they work. But the effect all this has on film writ large is a bit messier. No, you try to go to a producer today and say you want to make a film that hasn't been made before. They will throw you out because they want the same film that works, that makes money, said Francis Ford Coppola in 2011. That tells me that although cinema in the next 100 years is going to change a lot, it will slow down because they don't want you to risk anymore. They don't want you to take chances. Of course, funding has always been an issue for directors. Kelly Reichardt, known for her movie The First Cow, told GQ in 2020 that she had at one point given up on feature filmmaking after spending 10 years trying to get a movie made. In 2018, Deborah Granick also spoke of the challenges that face her and other directors. Some of the subject matters that I like to make stories about are definitely not inherently commercial. Who directed Winter's Bone and Leave No Trace. So I have to look for a very special kind of financing and go down a very gentle path in order to make my films. As do basically all social realist filmmakers, it's a long process. The joy of a theatrical mid-budget with the backing of a big studio is the money. These movies can be made for $30 million and can attract high-profile actors, all leading to a fuller realization of a director's vision. That studios are decreasing their investments in those types of mid budgets just as more women and people of color are being offered more opportunities to direct and create their own films. It's a trend that is kind of ironic. For instance, Jane Campion, the second woman ever to be nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards in 1993 for The Piano, and the first to be nominated twice, most recently for Power of the Dog, as an example. Why aren't there 20 like her being given more money? Why is Hollywood going back to the same well-known names? Probably because they make money, ain't gonna lie. Well-known names are struggling too. Even Spike Lee, prolific since the 1980s, had trouble getting funding for his latest movie, 2020's *The Five Bloods, about 4 black Vietnam War veterans. The Oscar-winning director said he went to every studio but received rejection after rejection. Eventually, the film found a home on Netflix. Streaming. Crazy that a director couldn't find the type of backing like Spike Lee, but he found it through streaming. Times are a-changin', folks. They indeed are. We barely got this film made, sadly. There was nowhere to go after Netflix. There's some good, though. More people have been discovering films from decades past, revisiting underappreciated classics. We have noticed more theaters dedicated to playing classic films, as well as the rise of streamers like Criterion and Mubi. Though their appeal is still kind of niche, the archives are the future, which isn't wrong either. There's also easier access to foreign films, noting that Netflix has acquired lots of films and television from India, more than anyone could get in the 1990s. It's allowing us to see a diversity of makers and also a diversity of geography. That's something that didn't quite exist before. You could still watch foreign films, but they weren't as easy to find, which is very true as well. There's more highbrow television now too, which has been attracting big-name directors like Steven Spielberg and Steve McQueen. A variety of series have been tackling a lot of genres that used to be covered in a 90-minute movie. A film on John Michael Basquiat, for example, may have been a biopic 10 years ago. In 2022, his story is said to be a limited series. Those looking for the beauty of a mid-budget film in theaters then may simply be looking in the wrong place. You might be. Because if you're looking for mid-budget films, you better look elsewhere, because your local theater, they ain't having jack shit. Indeed, they are not, man. That is a very fascinating article. Extremely fascinating, and they ain't wrong. Times, they are a-changing in a big bad way, folks. Okay, look. I am somebody that grew up with the films of the 1980s and the 1990s. And I was somebody that saw so many really amazing movies that, honestly, in today's culture, could never get made. There is no way that some of those movies, if you think of like a movie like A Sling Blade, could never get made, or A Time to Kill might never get made. You look at so many really great old school films, even a movie like, think of like something like Clerks. I mean, Clerks in the 90s got made, but do you seriously think a movie like that would literally get the same type of legs that it would back in the day? I don't think it would. I mean, there's so many filmmakers like a Tarantino, a Kevin Smith, a Robert Rodriguez, and many other ones that literally probably would get drowned out nowadays. And I'm so thankful that they came to fruition when they did, because if they didn't, we'd be having a very different story about some of those filmmakers. And the truth is that a lot of these studios now can't take those gambles anymore. I wish they would, but we're now living in a very different world than we were living in even a few years ago. Post-pandemic world. This is a big deal now, guys. It's a huge, gigantic deal. And the idea that a lot of these studios are really just pushing out the biggest, baddest, hugest blockbusters because they know that they're going to make money. But then again, at the end of the day, movie theaters, it's hard for them to survive. I've talked to you guys before about this, and I've basically said that, look, at the end of the day, movie theaters need content. They need a whole bunch of different content. It's not just the blockbusters. They need the romantic comedies. They need the crime thrillers. They need the dramas. They need all those type of varieties to get every single type of person who is into movies in the theater. Get that butts in the seats, apparently. And unfortunately, that's not happening as much. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I still love going to the movies, and I'm gonna see the big blockbusters. Of course I am, man. I mean, of course, the Batman and Top Gun Maverick and, the latest Michael Bay, action flick. I mean, you name it. But at the same time, I've noticed over the years that the variety has shrunken down quite a bit. And as a movie lover, that does depress me. At the same time, a lot of these studios are just not taking the gambles that they used to. I mean, what are we seeing for the most part? We're seeing huge, gigantic, big blockbusters with big name stars in it, or we're seeing superhero flicks, we're seeing remakes, or we're seeing another movie within the big, huge franchise. The Star Wars, the Harry Potters, you name it. All the big stuff. And unfortunately, I don't think it's changing anytime soon. Not like this hasn't been the trend for a long time, but there was always stuff to balance it. And now in a post-pandemic world, getting people back into the movie theaters, getting people to experience stuff again, it's not as easy to make that money. At the same time, streaming is really becoming more relevant. And a lot of these streamers actually are taking more chances with content. I mean, you look at something like The Irishman. Literally, Netflix spent like $200 million on The Irishman. Nobody would give Martin Scorsese that type of money. Ain't no one giving that motherfucker that type of money nowadays. But Netflix did. And they took a gamble on it, and it paid off in a big bad way for them. You look at The Five Bloods, Spike Lee. Spike motherfucking Lee, a director that is so high profile and has made some wonderful movies. Every studio, think about this, every studio literally passed on that movie. And he basically says, look, if Netflix said no, the movie was never getting made. So it's literally these streamers now, like the Hulus, like the Netflixes of the world, that are actually propping up filmmakers now rather than the big studios are. And that's huge to me. That's huge. That is something that would have been unheard of even a few years ago, but now it's really becoming more prevalent. I mean, Netflix is a big Academy Award winning contender now. Every single year at the Academy Awards, they have a chance to win this year and many other years going forward. Why? Because they're taking the chances. And you got to appreciate it. I mean, you have to think about it. These awards shows and all these people, these critics, even a few years back, they were snobbing on Netflix. Well, Netflix streamer, they'll never be able to make, high-profile Academy Award-winning movies. Well, that's changing. Because nowadays, studios are not interested in that anymore. Maybe they'll have one here and one there because they still want to get in on the award season goodness, but that's getting lost in the shuffle now. But at the same time, it's great to see streamers giving those directors and those artists a chance, but they get drowned in algorithm hell. I mean, literally, I was on Netflix the other day with my girlfriend, and we're literally going through all of the stuff that we're interested in watching, and it's just a barrage of things just in your face constantly. And if you don't watch it within the first month, where you've got so much other things to watch, it literally gets dropped down and you gotta search for it, and sometimes you forget what you want to watch. Oh, I remembered this movie that I wanted to watch. It was like a month ago, and now I can't find it on the main page, and now I gotta go and try to search for it. It's a hassle, man, and it literally is one of those things where you're like, God, these movies and these series are getting just shuffled like crazy. I mean, Netflix is putting out so much content every single week that if you don't watch it immediately, it's just going to get lost. And that's the same thing that's happening with Hulu, with Disney Plus, with Apple TV, you name it. And so, on one hand, it's a good thing that these artists are getting a chance, but it's also a bad thing because you're only the flavor of the month for so long, and then you're basically taken down for somebody else. And that's a shame. And now studios are worried about the money aspect of it because of the pandemic. They want as much money as possible, so they got to get the big blockbusters out there. Movie theaters, yes, want them, but also are worried of like only so many people are going to these movies. So how are we going to make as much money? We need everything else, but studios aren't really backing that play as much. At the same time, streaming is, of course, being a big thing because now these big studios have their streaming services. So now they need to supply the streaming services with content. So it's all this big, gigantic mess that's going on. And there is no exact solution that's going to fix all of this because they realize, well, we need to put it in the theater, but we also need to put it on our streaming service. We need to make content that's specific to the streaming service that we can't put in the theaters because it needs to be exclusive to get people to still subscribe. But movie theaters want that content, but of course we're going to screw ourselves over either way. And if that movie that they could have put on the streaming service goes to a movie theater and it doesn't make the money that they want, then basically that just gives them more ammunition and fuel to be like, yeah, we should have just put it on the streaming service anyways. There is no winning here, guys. There really isn't. Not for the studios, not for the movie theaters, not for the average consumer. There really isn't. And so literally it's a world of just content, 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 and consuming it as fast as you can, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on one thing or another. That means going to the movie theater as many times as you can, subscribing to as many streaming services as humanly possible, and just hoping to God that you're able to consume all this content and hopefully you don't get shortchanged in the end. It's fucking nuts, man. It's fucking ridiculous. And these mid-budget movies get lost in the shuffle because they're either not profitable enough or a streaming service needs more content. And so at the end of the day, some of these great gems out there, you never get to see. You lose out. And so it's a real goddamn shame, man. It really honestly is. And who knows where it's going? I mean, I think these epics are not changing anytime soon. I think we're going to have the blockbusters for a long time in the movie theaters. And I think a lot of these smaller films that were once embraced by audiences are just getting set to the side. And as much as I love big blockbuster movies, I also have to be very understanding of the fact that, you know, sometimes you just want a nice little romantic comedy. You want a little bit of a nice dramatic thriller, and you don't really need this big 3-hour epic that's gonna take you 2 days to fucking watch, man. You don't sometimes need it and or want it. And I think we are eventually going to head to a point where it's gonna blow up in its face. I think movie theaters are highly in danger of closing for good. I feel like studios have these streaming services and the streaming services have worked out. Big budget films have been on them and have done quite well. And eventually studios are going to see the money value in the streaming more than the theaters. And we're already seeing it. The mid-budget films are leaving. And all we're getting is these huge, gigantic franchise remakes, blockbuster films, and the only reason why studios are keeping movie theaters around is because that's another set of revenue. If they can find another way to make the same amount of money and cut out the theaters, I guarantee you that's going to happen, guys. There will eventually be a loser in this. There will eventually. And I don't know if it's going to be the streaming, because streaming has become so big that it can't fail at this point. It's not going to be the studios, because they're always going to be around to make content. The Warner Brothers, the Disneys, the Paramount, the Universal, you name it, Lionsgate, they're always going to be around to make films and, you know, make more content. So it will be the movie theaters that lose out in the end, man, because they're going to be lacking the variety, and unfortunately they can only make so much money on this stuff. And with the rising cost of ticket prices and of the concessions, that unfortunately that's going to be lost at the same time. That's a real shame, because the movie theater experience is so precious and so amazing that, you know, as much as I love streaming at home, as much as I love enjoying a film and being able to sit back and relax and not have to worry about crying kids or people on their cell phones, people talking and interrupting, there's something about the theater experience which is so immersive and amazing that to see it go would be a shame. It honestly would, man. So, I don't know. Times are changing, consumer habits are changing. We stay home a lot more because honestly, there's life is so crazy busy and there's so much stuff to do and you're so exhausted that you just want to come home and veg out. And taking the extra time to get ready and go to a movie theater, unless it's a big blockbuster movie, most people are deciding to stay home. And that's why streaming is successful. That's why Netflix is taking more of a chance on these movies. At the end of the day, look, you gotta understand that there used to be a status quo for movie making and for films and for studios. And now that's all been blown up. It's been blown up because of money. It's been blown up because of greed. It's been blown up because of the pandemic. And now there's a new normal. And where that new normal takes us, in some ways it's exciting, and in other ways it's really terrifying. And I'm very curious to where the future takes us. I really honestly am. I mean, no matter what, movies will always be around, but in what form and in what way? I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to think about this. Definitely let me know, man. It's fascinating because as a lover of movies, I think I'm more influenced by the smaller films than I ever was by the big films. I mean, I love the big films, but it's the smaller, more intimate, unknown gems that really made me a lover of movies in the first place. And to see them start to die off or change the way it's being done is kind of sad to me. I mean, I'm still going to search them out, but easier said than done. Definitely let me know what you think about that, guys. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. For news channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD out and about videos, movie reviews, other out and about movie hunting goodness like Dollar Tree, Blu-ray pickup videos, live streams, you name it. A lot of content that has been on the channel. Check all that out. If you love how I talk about movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my really great subscribers out there, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. Anticipating the videos, watching all of them, hearing me rant about movies. Oh, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Also, keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108, keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. And if you want to send the channel any movie-related goodness, you can do that. The P.O. Box is in the description below. It is not expected, but it is definitely appreciated. And you guys have always said, hey, I'm interested to send you some cool stuff here and there. Where can I send it? Well, the P.O. Box is where you can send it, guys. I'm very excited to where the P.O. Box adventures will take me next. Definitely excited about that. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back next week for more physical media goodness. So take care, everybody, and remember, happy hunting.